Hello and welcome back to the channel. Right, in today's video we've got a few things to show you from Dom. He sent me loads of walkie talkies. One of these is in the bag, as you can hear. First one he sent through for me to look at is this realistic radio. Now this was one that, as you can see, sold in Tandy's there, and I do remember these actually. I remember these being on the shelf. Let's see if we can open up the box. Yeah, I do remember these. A very like a very pack of cards type shape radio. FM, these were unusual. These were the MPT 1336 ones. These were on 49 megahertz FM, so not really ones you can use with FM/CB radio. On off switch on the side, PTT, and a call button there. So we'll perhaps have a look at this one in the video. What's just the next walkie talkie from the pile? Right, I must thank Dom again for sending these through. He's passed this one on for my collection. This is a Transtalk, which I think we've had a Transtalk radio on here before. This is an AM radio at 27.2350 megahertz. Let's have a look at the Transtalk. I do believe I have done a Transtalk radio with that same, because I think I might have popped a bit of a joke about it. That's how I remember. PTT on the side. Volume on off switch. Now this is I'd say probably a 19. Oh, it's still got our battery in. Probably a 1960s radio, I'd say, looking at that. Original capacitors, maybe early 1970s possibly. But yeah, thanks for that, Dom. That's much appreciated. And funnily enough, I do remember being in a shop in the town and seeing these and didn't pick them up. The world's smallest walkie talkies. They do look pretty tiny, don't they? Push to talk, Morse code key, flexible antenna, works through walls. Wow. Thanks again, Dom. These look great, don't they? Yes, I do remember seeing these in the shops and resisted. But yeah, do appreciate that. They look fun. I'm sure the kids would probably have fun playing with those, but me being a collector, they probably won't come out of the bubble packet, if I'm being honest. Wow, not seen these ones before. Thanks again, Dom. I will. If I say thanks, then I'm saying thanks to radios that you want me to repair and send back. Please do tell me. There is notes on these, and I think I know which ones I've got to work on and which ones are for the collection. But if I've made that mistake, let me know. But these are cracking. Look at the shape of these. These have Hamleys written on them. Now, Hamleys, I remember, was a toy shop here in the UK. So whether these were badged just for them and sold just for them, they look sort of 90s. Morse code key on the side. Let's see if we can see what frequency these are on. FCC, so they're US 2012. I would imagine these are probably 49 meg as well, possibly. And I can confirm that these are indeed 49 meg radios, as suspected. I can't actually see, but I think they've been well loved. A little bit chewed on the antenna there, but wow, they're really cool looking. Excellent. Now the TRC 108. I imagine these have been sent through for a tune-up. I'll have to admit I do have a set of these, Dom, in the same box. So you may have put a note in here. No, these come with the original manual. Look at that. I'm not sure I've got the original manual for these, so I might take a copy of that. That's nice. I always like the form factor of these radios. I think I might only have one of these, but these were a 2781 handheld walkie-talkie, and I really did like the slim form factor of these. They were really nice looking, you know, a radio. I think that they were 100 milliwatts ish. Let me just see if I can see on the manual. I was right, 100 milliwatts. There we go. Whether they actually do that in reality, I don't know, but always like these. A lovely radio, 9-volt battery, just pops in the side there. Really nicely made little sets, these, and well worth a bit of attention. So I'll have to read Dom's notes to see what he wants me to do with these. I'm not sure I've done a tune upon them before, but lovely, lovely set of radios they are. Wow, now we're really going back in time. I'm sure plenty of you guys will remember Chips, the California Highway Patrol, the TV show, the American TV show from back in the day in the mid-70s. I certainly remember watching that as a kid and popping the old playing card in the spokes and riding around pretending I was a motorbike. Yeah, I remember doing that. Just fake controls on the top there, PTT, and a Morse code key there with the National Police Emergency Communication Code System there. 10-4, 10-10. A 10-10 is a fight in progress. Is that correct? I'm not sure. Rather a long antenna on these guys. Look at that. A nice flexible antenna, you know, trying to mimic the radios of the day, the Motorola's, those sort of waste-worn radios the cops wore back then. That one was missing the battery cover. We've actually luckily got the battery cover on here, so I can probably 3D print something that will work as a battery cover there. There we can see the year of manufacture, 1981, by Playtime Products Inc. Yeah, super popular show in the UK, Chips. I remember it being very, very popular, and I'm sure it was in the States as well. So yeah, wonderful. I have seen these pop up in a box, and yeah, I have seen them from time to time show up, so that's lovely. Chips. Should have checked. Here's the other Trans Talk radio, and that one's got a battery in as well. But we should turn that on. And I think the Trans Talk radios, these ones, because they're suitably vintage, they're definitely worthy of a bit of attention in terms of getting them working. So I'll do a separate video on those. But I've always liked these, the style of these, and as long as they come with a working antenna, then that's absolutely fantastic. Ah, the Motorola Talkabout. That's in rather nice condition, I have to say. I do have a collection of Motorola radios. Those who watch the channel will know this is how I started my PMR journey. I'll just show you. I've got one on the shelf. This was my very first PMR radio, the TA200, and they've obviously evolved a lot since this radio came out. But I remember I used to do a lot of mountain biking, and I remember being at a mountain biking show in 1996. I remember Motorola had a stand there with these on, and they were trying to push the sales of these to mountain bikers. Oh my gosh, I've not seen anything quite so cool. And yeah, as soon as these come out, both me and my buddies, most of my buddies got hold of these, and we had the headsets with them, and it was ace just riding along and being able to, you know, having genuine, decent, long-range communications, if you like, you know, which we'd previously been used to, you know, basic walkie-talkies, if you like, and that, you know, you couldn't really sort of strap to you and use in that way with long antennas. And these with the little stubby antennas were absolutely fantastic, and these still work great. You know, they use normal AA batteries, but they still work superb. So I've always been a big fan of the Motorola's. Cracking little radios, those. A really cool little detach mechanism for the belt clip. I'm surprised no one's copied that idea. That's really nifty, because it not only lets the radio swivel, but it keeps it really secure. So you pop it into the hole there, push that clip in, and then it can swivel on your belt, and it's really secure. Fantastic idea. Why haven't the Chinese copied that? Too busy making balloons. Right, now these are interesting because I had a set of these. I had a set of these back in the day, the Eurosonics. Now with the little paddle at the front. I remember getting a set of these, probably 1982, before I got an actual CB radio from Finmere Market, which was a market that was near us here in Oxfordshire. And there were 49 meg sets. This was manufactured in June 81. Now I could zoom out, but I don't think I could still get the whole package in, so I'll just hold it there for you. For the Eurosonic model GW812 with brake resistant police type flexi whip. You should never put anything down as brake resistant when you're marketing it to children, should you? Because they will try and break it. Star code signal key for learning Morse code messages. Combination speaker mic. Now I remember these being woefully underpowered when I had a set of these. We used to, I don't know if I mentioned this before on video, we used to actually put the aerial up on a lamppost to increase the range. With the metal, remember those metal lampposts? We used to touch the side of those and it used to give you a bit of an extra boost. But I remember, yeah, these weren't the most powerful sets, but they, nonetheless, these are incredibly nostalgic for me because I had exactly this set of radios. And we've got an interesting note from Dom here about these. With the original receipt, and he says here, they seem to have come unstuck, joined over time. I'm not sure what that means, but new old stock, laugh out loud, 1981, Zammy Discount Centre. I don't know if anyone remembers the Zammy Discount Centre in Lord Street. That would be in the UK somewhere. And they were purchased on the 18th of the 3rd, 1982 for the princely sum of £21.20, and Dom says he picked these up for £4, and we do have the original receipt from the Zammy Discount Centre there, indeed, for £21.20. Goodness gracious, how lovely. Yeah, so that's really nice because, like I say, I had that exact set of radios, and I seem to remember you know, years later ripping the insides out of them and then using the speaker for a project of some kind, but that was a very long time ago. Wow, look at these are in excellent condition. Now these are definitely in American radios, as we can see here with the name of Sears emblazoned on the top of them there. Now Sears, I know, was a department store, I think, in the States back in the day. Maybe it still is. Some of you can probably answer that for me without me googling it. And we can see the label on the back of these. These were very likely badged under a different name than Sears at some point. But we've got 3 channel selection here on the front. We've got an earpiece and an unusual location there, and a 9-volt DC adapter supply. We've got call on off, which I'm guessing is a tone. I don't know without actually looking at these, but wow, they are in amazing condition, supplied with a couple of 9-volt batteries again. So I'll have to speak to Dom about the history of these, but there's 2 and they're both in exactly the same condition, so it seems. Not seen those before, I have to say, not under even a different name, so they are rather nice. Yeah, very nice indeed. Both supplied with good aerials, it looks like, from there. Normally you can tell if there's one missing, but both of these very nice indeed. So yes, highly unusual those, and I'll do a separate video on those at some point. And finally, wow, look at these old things. I suppose you could argue I've saved the best for last here. Look at that, an external pouch for carrying your antenna with, look. And I'll show you why that is. The reason for that is because it's a screw-in antenna that screws into the top of the radio. Let me just remove one of these from, delicately I think, from one of these little pouches, because these are probably quite delicate. Look at that. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Look at the sheen off the grill, off the front of that. Yes. And if you were in any doubt, it's a 9 transistor Citizens Band radio. I think I've mentioned before on the channel, it was a bit like the megapixel race back in the day with transceivers, and they would always put on there the amount of transistors that were in the device, because the more transistors the better. And look at this push button, a very discreet little fella, that one, isn't it? It's just like your classic push button on a control panel or something. And I'm guessing that's the speak. No, would that be ventilation? Sometimes you used to see ventilation on these old radios on the back of them. They don't run particularly warm, but wow, aren't those absolutely wonderful? And again, a separate video is definitely warranted. Not a deal breaker with the whips. I mean, I do have an adapter that I can use when we do a test of these. So I do have an adapter that I can fit in the top of the other one, so we can actually test them as a pair. and I'm assuming that these are both. Let's get them both out. Now that one's unfortunately got a ding in the front of it. I think with a bit of careful tapping with a very special hammer that I have in my toolbox, I can fix that. I shall bring that dent out. We'll do that on the video when we look at probably having to recap these, I would think, to get them to work. Now it does have an earpiece socket in this bottom corner, and there's no mention of the manufacturer of these, but I've no doubt that the capacitors in these are very dry and will need replacing for these to function. But as you know in the channel, the vintage stuff I really like to get going. I'm not quite as bothered as with the 49 meg stuff and things, but the vintage radios, I do like to get those working as they were. So we'll look at those in a separate video. Right, I think that is the end of the unboxing of all these radios. Wow, that really is amazing, Dom. I will speak to you about these sets and which ones I can keep and which ones you want me to look at, because I can't remember. It's been a little while now, and I've only just managed to, with work, really start to look at these. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and this little look at this wonderful and very eclectic selection of radios, and I hope that they've rekindled fond memories of your youth playing with such devices, as they often do for me. Right, I'm going to go and have something to eat. If you have been, thank you ever so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.